It's no secret that Nigeria is the largest economy in Africa.
What's more to her?
With over 3 billion metric tons of iron ore deposits found in Kogi, Enugu, and Niger states, an estimated 10 million tons of lead zinc veins spread across many states in Nigeria.
Over 7.5 million tons of barite in Taraba and Bauchi states, an abundance of lithium and gold in Nasarawa, Ogun State, and many more. Nigeria is blessed with a diverse mix of mineral deposits.
The Nigerian government, through the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development, is setting the pace to reposition Nigeria as an economic powerhouse.
Join us every Monday, 16:30 GMT, and on Saturday, 9 hours GMT, for the program Uncovering Nigeria's Hidden Gems.
Uncovering Nigeria's Hidden Gems,
where we highlight the activities of the solid minerals sector to discover the vast natural resources of the country and know more about the sector.
Remember, Mondays at 16:30 GMT and Saturdays at 9 hours GMT.
Uncovering Nigeria's Hidden Gems.
The Director General of the Nigerian Mining Cadastral Office, MCO, Engineer Obadiah Nakom, explains that the MCO operates under the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development and is tasked with the administration and management of mineral titles in Nigeria.
My name is Engineer Obadiah Simon Nkom, the Director General of the Nigerian Mining Cadastral Office, an agency under the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development, saddled with the responsibility of administration and management of mineral titles in Nigeria.
He says the Nigerian Mining Cadastral Office aligns with international best practices, emphasizing transparency, security of tenure, objectivity, and a use-it-or-lose-it policy for licenses. Its operations are critical to ensuring confidence and accountability in Nigeria's mining sector.
Clearly, our mandate, in a layman's point of view, is issuance of licenses with clear functions as spelled out in the Nigerian Minerals and Mining Act. Apart from our functions and mandate, we are tied to key principles of issuance of licenses, which is international in terms of priority, use it or lose it, transparency, non-subjectivity, security of tenure. All those international principles are keyed into our mode of operations.
Engineer Nakom addresses concerns over pending applications from 2024, explaining that delays often result from deficiencies in documentation. In line with the 2007 Act and 2011 regulations, applicants must be given fair hearing and time to correct errors, typically within 2 weeks.
We adhere strictly to the provisions of the Act, which is the 2007 Act, and the regulation for 2011 for Nigerian Minerals and Mining Regulation of 2011. And anything outside the law is not acceptable, And as such, the law indicates that when you receive an application and there is any deficiency, you must communicate the operator for him to remedy such deficiency within a short period of time, 2 weeks or thereabout. What are the deficiencies? Somebody might submit a tax clearance, for instance, or he might decide to submit a corporate affairs document. She might even have reasons for consent. She might even have reasons, all these documents that are conditions necessary. And sometimes even the application, the coordinates does not fall in place. So all these aspects of these anomalies, even when the work program, technical work program that is submits, if we need any clarification, remember that these documents range from even attestation of no conviction, even the aspects of the technical competence, to ensure that the company is technically competent, or it's the company is financially capable of carrying out Financially capable simply means you have to submit a comfort letter from the bank, and at the end of the day, it must equally show a bank statement. So all these documents, by the time we are evaluating, and we find out that there is reasons to ask more questions to the operator, we cannot take a decision. There's fair hearing in the whole thing. If, for instance, there's a document that we need to even verify, whether we need to go to the bank to confirm, So those things might take some time by way of communication. And that is why way back in the last quarter of 2024, those applications were there because of one thing or the other that has not been concluded. Sometimes even the consents, we need to carry out a verification to be able to now take an informed decision. It will not be fair at the end of the day, somebody submits a document and then we are not too, we need clarification. Then we just say, no, this is what is submitted. And then we just take a decision. No. The law says, get back to the person. If it goes down to even coordinates, we need to be able to now do that. So that is the reason why we had to indicate those aspects in our first quarter report of 2025. And moving them is a continuous thing.
Engineer Nakom states that the 6.96 billion naira in revenue generated by the Mining Cadastre Office in the first quarter of 2025 was derived from well-defined system-integrated sources that ensure transparency and accountability.
The streams for our revenue generation, in fact, one can simply call them processing fees. First, we have the major one, which we call the annual service fee. For every cadastral unit that you apply, there is an attendant fee, rates that are attached to it, which is integrated. Everything I tell you, the fees are integrated in our system.
Speaking on the high number of exploration licenses, the Director General says the high number reflects the essential nature of exploration in the mining life cycle.
Why a large number of people have no option but to carry out exploration. It is when you carry out the exploration and then you now finish, then you now apply for subsequent exploitation licenses. Which are the exploitation licenses? Exploitation licenses can be, in another word, the real activity, mining. In fact, in the law, you cannot apply for a mining lease without an exploration.
Addressing landowner disputes, Engineer Nakom acknowledges their inevitability in mining, but emphasizes that the MCO has strengthened its processes through zonal field verifications, a conflict resolution committee, and a tribunal-like monitoring unit to ensure greater transparency and accountability.
I had to set up a committee of top management and technical people, the legal people, to carry out all these complaints most recently. That was sometime in January. The essence is we have to be proactive. We have a department itself called Monitoring and Coordination that handles all these conflict resolutions. Our conference room happens to be like a mini court in quote. Why? We'll call some of these conflicting communities, we sit with them and get clarifications to some of these things. And in most cases, we have answers. So even if your license has been granted with an inappropriate consent, we will revisit it and ensure at the end of the day, the right thing is done.
On licensing renewals, Engineer Nakom notes that many of the 88 applications reflect strategic decisions guided by the use it or lose it principle. The MCO encourages relinquishing on viable sites rather than paying rising fees for idle holdings, promoting serious investment and curbing speculation.
I must commend the Honorable Minister for his doggedness, his foresight, and then being able to now work in synergy, with inputs from all the relevant stakeholders and bring in things that will sanitize the sector and with enough consultation. And then at the end of the day, looking at the neighboring African countries or Africa, and looking at international community, and looking at Nigeria, what is happening. When he came in with the 7-point agenda, clearly looking at the aspect of illegal mining and so many other things, mines marshal and value chain addition, that's what brought about the 2024 value chain regulation. First of all is, what are the principles of the mining cadastre? One key principle is use it or lose it.
Engineer Nakom notes that miners now relinquish unviable sites to avoid rising costs, while higher fees for larger claims encourage a focus on productive areas. License modifications help align titles with on-ground realities, keeping the cadastre efficient and investor-friendly.
In other countries, if you have an exploration license, it is in the law, which we are reviewing in our own case, that you must relinquish after a year a certain portion, a certain percentage of your exploration license, because they believe that you have taken a large area. And as such, after a year, you must have done exploration and know that 10, 20%, 30% of the area, you already confirm that there is an area you don't need. You don't need to hold it. In our own law, we have not integrated that mandatory relinquishment of a certain percentage. But because we are proactive, we said after a year or after the first renewal, we will allow you to hold your 100%. But from that time, the fees are not going to be what you paid before. So if you like, hold it 100%, you'll now be paying more. So it forces people to do what? To relinquish.
Speaking on revenue growth and regulation, Engineer Nakom credits the increase in mining revenue to strategic reforms, fee adjustments and improved compliance. Key measures like tightening the licensing process, combating illegal mining and digitizing through the EMC Plus platform have fostered formalization.
I think is the strategy being used by the minister in terms of repositioning the sector and sanitizing it. So the revenue generation, like I told you, the review of fees has been key into our surge in terms of revenue. You cannot at the same time not mention that because of the activities of the mines marshal or the activities, the efforts of the ministry to curb illegal mining, people are beginning to come to obtain licenses. They equally have a factor in terms of the revenue increase. What I can say principally is because of the strategy the Honorable Minister developed, principally, that is bringing this aspect of revenue, large revenue increase.
On legal transparency and institutional integrity, he said the MCO collaborates with agencies like the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, and the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit to uphold transparency.
With NIT, these agencies, NFIU, EFCC, DSS, Civil Defense, we are working with them and to ensure that our licensing system is transparent enough.
On state activity and application trends in the first quarter, he said Niger State recorded the highest number of applications, driven by its mineral prospectivity, particularly gold. Engineer Nakom said all applications are now submitted exclusively via the EMC Plus online platform, ensuring full transparency.
EMC Plus, we have totally, let me use this word, we have totally migrated to an online system. And the software for that is the electronic mining cadastral system. So that simply means you cannot submit your application in any other way other than from the online platform.